Hello everyone, welcome to today's deck profile. Today we are doing the Magikeys. This is a deck based around really two cards, your normal monsters, specifically Clavicus, and your Magikey Maftea. It pretty much goes through all of the summoning mechanics aside from Link, so you can really do some fun combos with the deck. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Starting off, we do play 3 copies of Clavicus. He is a Dark Warrior normal monster with 1919. He is mainly here for a name, because there are only 2 main deck non-ritual Magikeys, so you do really need some guys. We then play 3 copies of Magnificent Magikey Maftea. Cannot be used for the Synchro or Xyz monster, except for the Synchro or Xyz monster of a Magikey. Once per turn, if you control a Magikey monster, you can reveal this card in your hand and normal summon a Magikey during your main phase, in addition to your normal summoner set. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 4 lower normal monster in your grave, or a level 4 Magikey monster in your grave, special summon it in defense. Really great card. He helps you get into both your XC and your Synchro, so really appreciate him. Now, the next 2 cards, you can pick any 2 different attribute monsters in the game, as long as they're normal, level 4. I choose Harpy Lady and Shiny Black Sea Squatter, because I feel like Earth and Wind are more likely to become issues than Fire and Water. So these are really just any 2 level 4 normal monster with different attributes are fine. Moving on to the rituals, I play 3 Beto Buster. You can ritual summon this card with Magikey Maftea. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add a Magikey card from your deck to your hand. You can only use that effect once per turn. Once per turn, when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster that has the same attribute as a normal monster or Magikey monster in your grave, you can place any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of the deck. If you do, negate the effects of that opponent's monster until the end of the turn, and then draw the same number of cards placed under the bottom of the deck. So it is a reload plus a negate. Very interesting card, as well as being a level 4 ritual tuner. I then play 3 copies of Magikey Mech Mortar Garrusglasser. It can be ritual summoned with Magikey Maftea. It gains 300 attack for every different attribute in your graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. When your opponent activates an effect of a monster with the same attribute as a monster in your grave, if at least 2 attributes of monsters were used for this card's ritual summon, quick effect, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. If this ritual summoned card is sent to the grave, add a Magikey monster from deck to hand. It's one of the few interactions you can get from monsters, so you usually do want to try to end on a Garrusglasser. So yeah, not a bad card at all. Next, their field spell, Magikey World. When this card is activated, add a Magikey monster from your deck to your hand. The first time a non-token normal monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, it is not destroyed. During your main phase, add a Magikey Maftea from your deck to your hand, then place 1 card from your hand to the bottom of the deck. Fantastic card, really allows you to search the most important card in your deck, which is your Magikey Maftea, which we play 3 of. You can fusion summon 1 Magikey fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. Or, if you ritual summon a Magikey ritual monster from your hand by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose total level equals its level. If you control a normal monster, you can also send a normal monster from your deck to the grave as fusion material or tribute for that ritual summon. So this is how you get your Harpy Lady and your Shiny Black Sea Squatter into the actual grave from the deck. So, fantastic card. I then play 3 copies of Magikey Battle. Target a normal monster or a Magikey you control or a Magikey Maftea in your grave, shuffle it into the deck. Then if you activated this card in response to your opponent's card or effect activation, normal monsters and Magikeys cannot be or are unaffected by that opponent's card effect. So it protects, or worst case scenario, it recycles for later. Since you do play a fair amount of normal monsters, I do play 3 copies of Unexpected Die, just to get your turn started. For the one-of spells, most of these are just meant to bait a negate or kind of stop the opponent, something to really mess with them. 1 Change of Heart, 1 Upstart, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Terraforming, and 1 Instant Fusion. You do have an Instant Fusion target in the deck. It is your and which is a fusion tuner, as well as doing some stuff when it hits the field. Finally, the trap cards. 3 copies of Magikey Locking. Tribute a normal monster or a Magikey monster. Then you can target up to 2 normal monsters or Magikey monsters in your grave, whose total levels equal 8 or less. Then you can immediately special summon them both in defense position. After this effect resolves, you can Synchro or XZ summon a Magikey monster. So this allows you to get something like your Transfer Flame or your Vesperatu during your opponent's turn. Then, play 3 copies of Magikey Duo, which does the fairly similar. You can target a normal monster or a Magikey monster in your grave, add it to your hand. Then you can either Fusion Summon or Ritual Summon. Once again, allowing you to set up during your opponent's turn. Finally, 3 copies of Magikey Unlocking. When your opponent activates a spell trap effect while you control a Magikey Ritual monster or a Magikey monster, special summoned from the extra deck, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. You can then declare 1 attribute, and if you do, for the rest of the turn, all face-up monsters your opponent controls become that attribute. Attribute changing is very important for a lot of the cards in the extra deck that we will get into now. First up, the Magikey XZ's monster. Magikey Spirit Vesperatu. If this card's XZ, summon detached material to add a level 4 or higher normal monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If this card has a normal monster as material, it gains this effect. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster with the same attribute as a normal monster or a Magikey monster in your graveyard, you can detach 1 material from this card, and your opponent must send that monster to the graveyard. Great interruption if you summon this off of the trap card. Then 3 copies of Transfer Mine. It is a Thunder Fire. Takes a Magikey tuner. Once per turn, or this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters each battle phase. If you control this card that was synchro summoned using at least 2 attributes of monster, you can set a Magikey spell trap directly from your deck to your spell and trap card zone. If your opponent normally special summons a monster with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard, you can destroy that monster. So, really great way to, once again, interrupt your opponent. Play 3 copy of Magikey Beast. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. When it's fusion summoned, you can add a Maftea from your grave to your hand. Once per turn, you can target 1 attack position monster your opponent controls with the same attribute as a normal monster or a Magikey monster in your grave. Change it to defense position. If you do, it loses 1,000 defense. Banish any monster destroyed by battle with this card. Really great. It's mainly a combo piece, however, you can do so much more with it if you need to. And finally, 3 copies of Magikey Dragon Androbime. Once again, I apologize if I'm butchering these. If this card's fusion summon, when this card's fusion summoned, your opponent cannot activate any cards or effects. Once per turn, you can target 1 normal monster or a Magikey monster in your grave, destroy all monsters your opponent controls with that attribute. Once per turn, if an opponent's monster with the same attribute as a monster in your grave is destroyed by battle or card effect, and this card was fusion summoned with 2 different attributes as material, draw a card. So, really great going second tool there. That is it for the deck. I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed it. This is a deck that I don't play too often. I'm probably going to play a little bit more, but I genuinely enjoy it, and I hope you all will too. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.